Hello, it's your girl, Lindsay 19. Today, I wanted to have a little bit of fun. For full disclosure, I have two guests lined up, two kinky trans people that are going to come on and give their stories. So that's going to be happening very soon. I just have to work out a couple of logistical issues. But today I wanted to do something a little fun, play a little bit. As you can see, the vibe is very different today. I am in my big old recliner, being very professional. But yeah, so I've had a little bit of interest. A couple of people asked me, they wanted to know more about like the stand up set I'm working on and, kind of what the angle is with that and everything. So I wanted to kind of just like go through a little bit of my set today. Obviously, like, none of this is like ready to go 100% prepared. I'm still very much in the workshopping phase of my comedy bit. But I do have a fair amount about being a trans cam girl, and then a couple of other, kind of subjects that I'll go into after the cam girl parts. But yeah, let's just dive in. I wanted to go ahead and get some experience telling this full set and everything, and so we'll just see how it goes. But anyways, yeah. So I started being a cam girl about 4 months ago, which is kind of it's kind of like a digital stripper or a digital prostitute, I guess you could say. And I decided to do that when I got to the point where I finally felt like I had left the stage of that's a man, right? And gotten to the stage of that used to be a man, right? Yeah, and so that's when I finally felt that I was ready. But yeah, it's a strange thing being a cam girl. It's like you're in a room talking to like disembodied ghosts, like spirits like hovering around you, like 20, 30, 40 people sometimes. And sometimes more. Sometimes there's like a lot of y'all. And and it's like, I'll do like a sex show performance or something like that, and then like I'll come, and then like they'll all come, or I mean, like hopefully like like 50% of the ghosts come hopefully with me. And it's like this like massive like spiritual bukkake basically. Like it's very strange. But yeah, but speaking of ghosts, I'm kind of like I consider myself to be kind of like a battlefield nurse in some ways. Like I'm purging men and women of their horny ghosts. Like they come to me and they have like an affliction. Like they cannot continue with their daily lives because they're just so horned out. And so they come to me seeking remedy for that horniness. And so I'm like an exorcist, basically. Like I extract the horny ghosts from men in the form of cum, usually. Um, yeah, and so basically, I sell sex acts, which is like this weird thing of like it's like you like open up your coat, like, hey, what sex act would you like today? Like, hello, sir. What is your preferred sex act? Yeah, it's a very surreal thing being in the business of sex acts. Like, using dildos as like tax write-offs. Very strange. And and it's interesting too because like it comes down to also like what is your price? Like cuz there's no set standard for selling a sex act. It's like whatever you decide to charge. And not all sex acts are created equal, and some are very like niche and different. I remember being asked to get on all fours and bark like a dog. Well, he didn't ask me to do it. He asked me specifically how much. Yeah, how much to get on all fours and bark like a dog. Like, think about that. Like, what price do you attach to that? Like, what price do you attach to your dignity? Because the chances are, if you're doing it on the internet, somebody's recording it. There's going to be footage of you doing whatever you're going to do forever. Um, so it's like, yeah, like get on all fours and bark like a dog. Like, but when I was asked that, it was a little bit more complex for me than just like name your price, because it's like if you've never um, barked for somebody like a dog, like genuinely, like you don't know what your bark sounds like. Because like you're not just gonna like be silly and just kind of give them a little little cartoony bark. Like if somebody's paying you good money to bark like a dog, like you're going to bark like a dog. So what's your bark sound like? Like, you're not going to find out until it comes out of your face. And whatever your bark sounds like is also kind of going to be like an indication of your breed. So it's like, what breed of dog are you? Like, and I just wasn't ready for this personality test. Like, I came on to like, maybe like stroke my penis a little bit, like, have a little bit of fun. And now I'm having this like existential crisis. You know, uh, Not only about like my value as a human and the monetary figure I attach to my dignity, but also like, what kind of dog am I? Um, but $25. $25 was my price. He didn't take it. So I still don't know what breed I am. And it's the kind of thing of like, I won't know until somebody else approaches me to do it because, I can't just do it. Like, I need to do it for somebody, or it won't be authentic. That's what I feel like. So I don't know what kind of dog I'm like. But yeah, that was $25. That was my price to bark like a dog. Um, Side note, $3 is my price to lick my own feet. Now ask yourself, how many people do you know? Like, how many girls, how many men do you know that you could just hand them like three nasty, like crumpled up dollar bills and be like, hey, lick your own feet, and then they'll be like, okay. Like, how many people do you know like that? You know one. Now you know one. Um, yeah, and you get asked a variety of things, and a lot of people come into your camera room with like an agenda of like what they want. A lot of people come in looking for a very specific set of events, one after the other, or like they have very like particular standards. And like, I get that. Like, if they're a paying customer, you want what you want. I'm fine with that. But I had a guy come into my room, and he was like, "Hey, hey, can you get hard?" And I was like, "Yeah, I can get hard for you, sure." And he was like, "Can you come?" And I was like, "Yeah, baby, I'll come, sure, no problem." And then he was like, "Can you like shoot very far?" And I was like, so here's the thing, like, I have like excellent androgen suppression. Like, my testosterone is like way down. So that means I have excellent feminization. So I don't really shoot anymore. It's more like a dribble. Like, it just kind of comes out and dribbles. So yeah, I can do all that, but like, I just can't like get any like distance or anything like that. And he was like, understandable. And I was like, cool, okay, yeah, like, kind of ready to do the show. And then he was like, okay, well, have a good day. And I was like, uh. And then I was like kind of sitting there, I think what was weird about it to me, the weirdest thing of all is like, what an adult thing. What an adult thing for him to do. Because I was a 2 out of 3 for him. Like, he needed a 3 out of 3. Like, he came in looking for a 3 out of 3. I was a 2 out of 3. I don't know what that's like to be like, okay, well, you're my 2 out of 3. Like, you have a good day. I'll see you in the next life, basically. And because I'm such a 2 out of 3 girl, like, I'm the kind of person to just bargain and negotiate with myself and be like, well, you know what? I mean, it's not perfect, but like, let's go ahead and just see this out. Like, because it's like 2 out of 3 still good. No reason to throw the whole thing out for just like a little bit missing. Yeah, I don't know what it's like to be like that adult about something. So it was an interesting circumstance where I actually learned how to adult from one of my cam clients. Well, I guess she's not one of my cam clients, actually, potential cam clients. But yeah, and then you get a lot of people coming through, especially as a trans woman, that are like slightly confused. They don't quite know why they're there. Well, you know what? They know why they're there. They just they can't bring themselves to admit it. But one guy came in, and the first thing he tells me is he's here by mistake. He's like, "Yeah, I'm here by mistake. I'm straight." And I was just like, "So, but you saw me and you thought that I was a woman." And like, like imagine if I had actually voice trained and I had like a very passable voice and stuff, and like you couldn't tell. Like at that point, you're kind of just like admitting in some ways that, the idea that you're like attracted to somebody's like chromosomes, like the idea that it's not doesn't matter to you that phenomenologically I'm a woman. You want the essence of a woman. You want the chromosomes. Like imagine if that's what it was like on a first date or something. It was like, hey, this dinner's been going really good, but you know what? I kind of want to see your chromosomes. I brought my own microscope. Like if I could just get a blood sample, please. I brought my own needle too. But yeah, that idea that like there's something like in some essence of what a woman is. Like it doesn't matter that you perceive me as a woman, that you observe me as a woman. It's like there's something internal to you. That is a very silly idea to me. But also, the fact that he was just like, I'm straight. I don't quite know why I'm here. It's like, honey, if you're attracted to me and you're straight, it's because I'm a woman. Like that's all it comes down to. Is like, so yes, you're still straight, honey. But it's like people are so worried about like being gay or like being perceived as being gay. You know, like in this day and age, bisexual is the new straight. Like everybody's bi nowadays. Like, who fucking cares if you're gay? Like, you know what? I'm trans and I like dick and I like pussy. So I'm double gay. Like I am so close to just gaying myself in existence. I am so gay. It's like I'm going to collapse into a black hole of gay, and take all you fuckers with me too. That's how gay I am, is that I exert my own gravitational pull. And I'm cool with it. Like, it's fine. Like, like in most places that I'm in, like, if I go shopping or something, I can almost guarantee you I'm the gayest fucking person in that place. But I'm fine. Like, I'm okay. So it's like, what's your excuse? Like, who fucking cares? If you want a dick in your, like, because people do that too. They'll come to me and be like, I like it when my wife pegs me, but I just want to know what the real thing's like. I'm like, well, I mean, a dick's a dick. Like, I don't know. But yeah, so it's like yeah, if you want a dick, just get a dick. I mean, it's fine. It doesn't have to be attached to a woman for you to be okay with your life. Like, I guess that's what I'm trying to say, is that if it's just purely about a dick, like, then just get a dick. It's fine. You will be okay. Yeah, people are so worried about others will think of them. And, it's one of those things, like, I guarantee that when you die, nobody's going to climb down into that grave and die with you. Like, just be whatever the fuck you want and do do whoever you fucking want. Like, you'll be okay. It reminds me of a guy who came into my camera room one time, and he wanted to do a private show, and he wanted to share his camera, which is like, great. I do that all the time. Sure, come on in. And he wanted me to like humiliate him for like being a virgin, because he was a young guy. He was like 19, and he was like, yeah, I'm a virgin. Like, will you kind of like make fun of me? And I was like, sure, of course I will. So we'd go into the private, and he opens up his camera, and he's in the shower. Like, he's like standing in the shower. Like, I can see the water like running behind him and everything. And he's not talking either. Like, anything I say to him or ask him, he either shakes his head or nods, and he'll type. And so I'm kind of just like, I'm stripping for him and everything. And I kind of like, I'm teasing him a little bit. And I'm like, so are you like, there with your boys and everything? And you're like, told him you were going to go take a shower, but you're actually like, in here. And he's like nodding as I'm saying this. I'm like, so you're hiding from your boys, you're in the shower and everything. And he's like, and I'm like, so you're hiding from your boys, just watching the beautiful trans women, huh? And he types in the chat, no trans. And I was like, no trans, weird. But you know what? I'm at work. I'm not gonna delve into that. That's fine. So yeah, I'm doing the strip cheese. I got my shirt off, and he's starting to get excited. Like, I can see that he is doing the deed to me, stripping and everything. And he's getting real excited. I started like playing with my boobs, and he's like really into it. So I go to take off my pants, and I like kind of like bend over in front of the camera, and I start to pull my pants down, and he's real excited by this. Like I can tell he loves my ass. So he's getting all worked up, and then I turn around, and I see that he sent a message asking if I could play with my pussy. And I turned around, I was about to like show my front. I had my underwear on, and I like popped down in front of the camera, and I was like, "Honey, I'm a trans woman, right?" And he left he turned off his cam and left the private show. I was just like, first of all, I was really excited that I had passed. I never even occurred to me that that could be a thing, that I could pass in my cam room to somebody and they thought I was they thought I was a real girl. But no, oops, you're gay. Like in his mind, that's probably what happened. So he probably took a very cold shower after that little experience. And it's weird doing like cam to cams with people and like seeing like them and their environments and stuff. It's kind of like glimpsing into different worlds that like you in some cases didn't want to know existed. I've done cam shows with like wealthy Frenchmen with like, living on the outskirts of Paris, and you could see their house. They got a staircase behind them. Oh, he's loaded. You can tell. There's some stuff up on the walls that look expensive, like, and he's got a collared shirt on. He must be doing very well. He's like, tell me I'm beautiful in French. And he did tell me that. But yeah, some of those worlds though, they're not very good. You don't want to see them. I have seen bedrooms that are living rooms, that are also kitchens, that are also fire hazards. I have seen rooms and environments that are in desperate need of attention. And it's very distracting too. It's just like, I'm trying to like maintain an erection and like get like hot and be sexy. And like, you can see the dude needs to clean up his dog's urine pad over in the corner of the room. Like, bro, it's got to stink. Just pick it up and throw it away. Like, but it's like they don't, it's weird. Like they don't tend to have much regard for what their environment looks like. But it's very important for them to share their cameras. Like, I guess that's part of their experience, is the idea that I am enjoying watching them jerk off. Sometimes, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes it's very pleasurable for me. Most of the time it's not. Most of the time it's not. But it all comes down to the person. Some of the people that come into my rooms, I mean, obviously, like most of them are men, and some of them are they're like children. Like I had a guy come in and ask me like how big I was, like, and I was like, yeah, I'm 6 inches, and he goes, I'm 8, and then he leaves my room. It's like, okay, like, did you just really come in here to like flex your larger penis on me? Like, is that really all you came here? Is like, how big are you? Oh, okay, well, I'm this big. And then he leaves. Another guy came in and said hi, and I was like, hi. And he was like, he told me he was a fireman at work. And I was like, wow, that's neat, buddy. That's really neat. He's like, I'm a fireman. I'm at work. And I'm like, cool. That's really neat. And then I think he left too. That does happen. He just wanted to share. A lot of the times, usernames are all I have to focus on, especially if like nobody's talking to me really. Like all I can really do is look at the usernames as people come in and just like comment on the ones that are funny to me, the ones that are like interesting or like, beg a question sort of a thing. But I like usernames when they contain what they're into. Like cuck me or average cock. I had a guy named Average Cock come in, like, so I know exactly how big his cock is just by looking at his username, and that's good for me. There was one, Nylon Ruth, is somebody that comes into my room a lot, and she was in my room, and then she left, and later on, Nylon Alex comes in. I was like, Nylon Alex, like, you've got to meet Nylon Ruth. Like, you two are going to get along so fucking well. Like I want them to meet and have little like nylon children. Like I think that would be adorable, and then I could officiate their nylon wedding. Um, yeah, like and then yeah, I have more people like Lowell Nylon came in. Yeah, some other nylon fellow came in too, and I was like, wow, it's like a nylon family. Um, yeah, I'm like a porch light left on for nylon people. Like like they're all attracted to me apparently. Um, one interesting username is like sometimes there's like weird like novelty names like cardiophile. Cardiophile comes in and he'll be like tell me can you feel your heartbeat? And I used to just be like, well, that's weird. But now I'm like, now I play along and I'll be like, yes, I can feel my heartbeat. It's beating so fast. It's so exciting. Like it's such a thrill. And he loves it. He absolutely loves it. Hunger growls. Hunger growls comes in and every single time asks me if I'll put the microphone down by my belly. He'll ask me first if I'm hungry, and I'm usually a little hungry when I'm camming, and I'll be like, yeah, I'm kind of hungry, and he'll be like, well, can you put the microphone down by your belly? And I'm like, sure, yeah, here, listen to this. 1010 hold P. 10/10 hold P is one of my favorites. 1010 hold P is somebody who will come into your room and he'll ask you on a scale of 1 to 10, how badly do you have to pee? And you may be like, I'm okay, like maybe like a 4 out of 10 or something like that. And he'll be like, okay, and then he'll stay in your room, and then like an hour will go by, and he'll be like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how badly do you have to pee? And by then you might be like, oh, you know what? I do gotta pee kind of bad actually. Probably a 10. And he'll type in all caps, hold it, hold pee. He is one of my favorites. Let's see. Cock777 comes in, and the first thing he says, show me your cock. Yeah. Wink your butthole for me. If he comes into my room, I know exactly what he wants to see. But yeah, and you never know who you're going to get coming into your room. Like you never fucking know. Like one time I was all glowed out after an orgasm. Like I had been doing a big scene with somebody and like we had been going for hours and stuff. And after I had finally come and like I was laid out on the floor and just really like glowing and just like chit-chatting with the guy and stuff and really had a fucking good time. This person comes in my room and was like, get it on fours. And starts like throwing like single tokens at me, which is like nickels basically to me. They're each token's worth a nickel. So she's like throwing nickels at me and is like, get on the floor, get on all fours. And I was like, no, right now you're just throwing nickels at me. And no, absolutely not. I just had a wonderful orgasm. I'm just chilling. You're not going to come into my room, throw nickels at me and tell me to get on all fours. And, it's just not going to happen. And then she did tip me some more to spank my ass. So I was like, you know what? Fine. And so I got up and I like spanked my ass for kind of like, a little bratty and stuff. And I was like, whatever. And then afterwards, she sends me a message on Twitter and is like, hey. And I went and looked at her profile, and she's like an actual trans porn star. And she has a huge following and like does actual porn and stuff. And I was like, hey. Sorry. Yeah. And it's so now I'm at this point though, like after kind of like opening myself up to people and like getting experience like being a digital prostitute, that I decided, you know what? I think it's time to start dating. Um Yeah, and it's weird. When I started hormones, like my doctor told me that the whole thing was going to be like a second puberty, and I was like, you think I'm scared of a second puberty, honey? 35 years I'm 35 years old. I will be fine. Yeah, it's like I graduated college. I have student loan debt. Like I'm not scared of second puberty. Like my frontal lobe is fully developed. Like I will reel myself in and I will be just fine. But yeah, it was kind of the opposite. It was like it was horrifying because like the emotions came first and logical me was just basically sitting in the bleachers watching the whole thing go down, just like jaw dropped over how I was like feeling, reacting, and what it was all like. It's like, it's like I was watching it happen to me, and then I was like, oh my god, like I am acting like a fucking 14-year-old girl right now. Um, it's like you're watching your body change, like you're going through all these like emotional changes and stuff, like discovering boys was pretty fucking wild for me. Just overall being emotionally different. It's kind of like cleaning out the gas tank and adding premium for the first time in your life. If you're not trans, I definitely do not recommend it. But if you are trans, I definitely recommend it. But yeah, so here I am dating men for the first time in 36 at 36 years old, after my orientation got the dudes DLC pack. So yeah, and it's been, it's one of those things too when you're dating. It's like most guys either don't want anything to do with you. Like they'll be like, "Oh, you're trans. I'm not into that," or they'll be like, "Oh, well, you're gay and I'm not." So things like that. And then the other half are like, they're way too into it. They're like, they basically just want a dick with tits, and they'll be like, "Yeah, I just want to know what a penis feels like, but I don't want to be gay." Those kind of guys. And then the ones who are just like fetishize trans women, or just like want to do all sorts of things with my penis. And then I'm like, well, what if I'm thinking about getting bottom surgery. What happens if I get bottom surgery? And they're like, well, I probably wouldn't like you then. I'm like, cool, okay, well, that's reasonable. So you just get rid of all those people, and you're left with like a teeny amount of eligible people at that point. um, yeah, and we get some very interesting people falling into that little net. I've had some awful, and I tend to video date before I meet in person. But I had a guy want to do a video call with me and everything, and it's like we just had trouble like getting together to do it and everything. Like he kept being like very interested, and then he would like I thought he ghosted me, like he didn't talk to me for like 5 days, and he comes back and is just like, hey, you ready to do a video call? And I was just like, shit, that was 5 days ago, dude. And like, you kind of disappeared on me, but I mean, okay, like that's fine. Like I'm not, I'm pretty open, whatever. Don't get a lot of guys seriously giving me attention, so it's fine. Yeah, absolutely. Um, so yeah, he starts the video call, and he's kind of like walking around his living room and stuff, and like he can't just like settle down. He's like walking around like he's real busy, but he's like, hey, hey, how's it going? And I'm like, hi. And he's got this nice leather furniture and stuff, and I was like, oh, cool. I like your furniture. It's nice. And he goes, yeah, I just got my furniture back. And I was like, I'm sorry, honey. Where was your furniture? And he was like, oh, so like full disclosure, I just got out of jail. And I was like, oh, what did you do? And he was like, DWI. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah. And he was like, but it revoked my probation. And I was like, oh, what were you on probation for? And he was like, theft. I'm like, oh. And then he goes, but it was groceries. I was like, okay, that's a little bit more understandable. And then he goes, um, and there may have also been a gun charge involved. And I was like, oh. And then he was like, oh, and there's my little puppy. I just got a puppy. And that was the deal breaker for me. I was like, oh, puppy. Not that I don't like dogs, not that I don't like puppies, but puppies tend to be worse than children, especially if you don't accept and understand that fact. Raising a puppy is in some ways much more difficult than raising a child. Yeah, puppies are a nightmare. So that was the real deal breaker for me. I was like, oh, you got a puppy. Oh, I'm sorry. He's really cute, but this isn't going to work out. Yeah, because I'm really picky. I mean, when it really comes down to it, I'm really picky as a trans woman. Like I hate all temperatures. Like I hate it when it's too cold. I hate it when it's too hot. 76 in the sun or 78 when it's windy is about what I need it to be. And if it's windy, I'm going to need a windbreaker. Because the wind just pisses me off. Like it gets personal with the wind. Like I get like irritable and stuff like that. Like, I mean, honestly, like I'm not made for this world. Like, and also I got the wrong body. It's like I popped into this world fucked. It's like, hey, you're going to hate every degree and every temperature, and plus it's going to be windy. And oh yeah, your body's wrong. Hope you can fix that with laws and hormones, or bottom surgery, like And I'm really picky when it comes to that too. Like when it comes to bottom surgery, like I want an artist to make me a vagina. Like I want a method artist. Like I want a Picasso vagina. Well, maybe more like a Da Vinci vagina. Yeah, I don't know if I want the Picasso vagina. But you know what? I might want to see it first just to make sure I don't feel like I'm gonna miss out. But when it comes to a surgeon and choosing one, like I do not care what his method is. Like if he needs to go out binge drinking until 2 a.m. And then get up at 5 a.m. to do my surgery stoned off his ass, like do it. Like I don't care. Like if as long as you have a method and you're good, I do not care what you do. Yeah, just like turn that pole into a hole and make it beautiful. Like that's all I fucking ask for. Um, but it's all that shit is tough. Being cam girl, dating, and all that. It's very tricky as a person, but also just like as a trans woman. But what sucks too is like I have to deal with like bigots and stuff like that. And I get like bigots who they want to tell me like you're a man, you'll always be one. But those are the same people who freak out when I take off my shirt at the pool. They're like, sir, there are children present. Put away those luscious tits, please. It's like, I'm a man, but if I take off my shirt in public, I go to jail. And then they put me with the men. Like, what kind of sense does that make? That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, and according to bigot logic, like being trans is the only mental illness that I'm a piece of shit for having. Yeah, it makes me a piece of shit for having this mental illness, according to their logic. Um, and then there's always like the kind of like weird like bigotry and like kind of just like misunderstanding. Maybe it's not as extreme as bigotry, but when people tell me things like um compliments that are kind of like wrapped in a misunderstanding. Like I hate when people tell me like, "Oh, you pull it off so well." I'm like, "Pull what off?" Pretending to be a woman. Like you think I ruined my life and became this so I could like sneak into your fucking bathrooms and shit like that so I can smell your nasty shits and your bloody tampons in the trash can? Yes, that's what I'm here for. Um yeah, I fucking hate the bathroom thing. It's like, I mean, honestly, dude, like we shouldn't even have public bathrooms. Like we should have no more group bathrooms. We should all be pissing and shitting in solo bathrooms. Like you just need a row of them, like down a fucking hallway. All singles, all with separate doors. But you do want like maybe just like a glory hole or something like that, because if there's no glory hole, is it really a bathroom? Like imagine finding out that you sucked a woman's dick through a glory hole. But anyway, scene. That is a little bit of my bit. That is specifically the cam girl stuff, a little bit of the dating stuff, and a little bit of the dealing with bigot stuff. I do have more. I do have more content about like BDSM and being kinky and stuff like that, and some other just general stuff about living as a trans woman. Some observations I have made. But yeah, so anyway, that was about 30 minutes, so not too bad. Um, but yes, this was very fun for me. Keep in mind before you're too harsh, this is all work in progress. None of this is like finalized. Like I don't necessarily think I would, try to like, really take this stuff out and do too much with it yet. I just need to get more comfortable talking about this stuff, doing these bits, elaborating on them and workshopping them and everything. And, but yeah, anyway, I would really appreciate any feedback anybody has to give me on this. Anything, any particular joke that you really thought was funny, one that you maybe thought was really not funny, or one that you think could be funny if I gave it more work. So any kind of input like that, send me a comment, get to me on socials, and all that good stuff. But yes, thank you for coming to my silly little side episode of the TG BDSM podcast. And the next episode, more than likely, is going to be an interview with a kinky trans woman. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, homegirl out.